All right, we're back here at CPAC 2022 here in Orlando, Florida, joined by Cory Mills, who is running for Congress in the 7th Congressional District here in the great state of Florida. By the way, much warmer weather here than what I had in Texas just the last day or so.
Guaranteed, and it's much better than the swamp up in D.C.
It is much better than the swamp. All right, we're going to get into a big story, obviously making headlines right now with Russia and Ukraine. But let's pivot real quickly. Why are you deciding to get in the world of politics right now and run for Congress here in Florida?
Well, I'll tell you, it used to be where it was left versus right. It used to be where it was Democrats versus Republicans, or even as recent as socialism versus conservatism. But now what we're seeing is this is really about America versus anti-America. We're seeing where a lot of people aren't standing up who say they're conservatives, who want to fight for our constitutional rights. We're talking about people who are basically going in and trying to put in unconstitutional vax mandates where people have to decide whether or not they're actually going to choose on getting an actual paycheck to put food on the table, or if they're going to get a vaccination that they don't actually approve with. Even some who are being outlined for religious reasons and saying, well, I can't take this for religious reasons. They're saying, well, then you don't have a job. This is the America that our forefathers actually talked to us about. This is the tyranny that we were all looking at. And as a constitutionalist and a person who served numerous years in our military, who's a combat veteran, who spent 7 years in Iraq, 3 years in Afghanistan, been blown up twice. I was a Bronze Star recipient. I'm not going to allow America to fall, and that's what it's all about right now.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy how we go from 6 feet to you could lose your job if you don't comply. Okay, so let's talk about one of the biggest stories in the world right now, and that is the invasion of Ukraine by the Russians. You've got a lot of experience there. You spoke a little bit of it before we came on. Let's recap this. And I said, I can't believe what I'm seeing right now. And your response was what?
Well, it's not surprising whatsoever. I mean, and not to mention the fact, this isn't an invasion, this is a re-invasion. They invaded in 2014 when they took Crimea, when they annexed the entire area of Crimea, when they took over Donetsk, saying that it was pro-Russian separatists, which was nothing more than KGB and other ununiformed military who was taking this over. But what we're seeing right now is a complete deterioration in our national security, and that's because of the Joe Biden administration. We know that this is the Obama 2.0 apology tour, and every one of our adversaries are seeing that. That's why now you have North Korea with hypersonic missile technology. You have China, which has now surpassed us in their naval fleet, Taiwan, if I'm in Taiwan right now, I'd be very scared. You have Russia and a great superpower resurgence who's invading into Ukraine. You have the failed and botched withdrawal in Afghanistan, which I know a lot about because my team and I actually conducted the very first successful rescue of Americans out of Afghanistan. We rescued a mother and her 3 children out of Texas 13 in Ronnie Jackson's district. Wow. So what we're seeing right now is America basically deteriorating. And not to mention, we have all the neoconservatives in the military-industrial complex who are sitting here trying to encourage these types of never-ending wars. I hate to say it, but a border 9,000 miles away is not our problem. A border 900 miles away is our problem.
Yeah, I've said this before. If you line up 1,000 people and say, give me your top 3 concerns as a U.S. citizen, I can promise you no one is saying the Russian-Ukraine border. That is just not a big concern, especially that we have high gas prices, we have a 40-year high in inflation. We've got things that affect the American people, and that's pretty much what you're addressing there in Congress in Florida.
That's exactly
you're
right.
Going after what people want to talk about.
Well, and the fiscal conservatism. We have to get our GDP to debt ratio under control. We've now surpassed $30 trillion. If we're going to spend money, it needs to be spent on American production, building up domestically. It needs to be securing our walls. Because think about it. Just in the month of December, we had 2,000 Russians come across the American border. We had 300 Ukrainians come across. We have over 160 nations crossing into our border, not just people from South America.
I don't think a lot of people know that. I've heard that we've had some people from the Middle East, but you're saying that they've got Russians, they've got people from the Ukraine?
I'll go a step further. They even captured 4 Yemeni military-aged males who are actually on the FBI's targeted terrorist watch list. So these aren't the families and the people who are just refugees running for safety that the Biden administration is trying to put forth. But we've got 2 million who's crossed our borders right now, and we know that the Democrat strategy right now is to eliminate the filibuster, put in farther radicalized bills like H.R. 1, which federalizes our elections, and that's why we have to step up. And like this CPAC, kind of motto is,
sure,
it's awake, not woke.
There you go. If someone is living in your 7th district there in Florida and they want to get more information about you, website, things like that?
So we have mills4florida.com, or you can follow me on social media at Cory Mills FL.
There you go. Thanks for your time here at CPAC.
Thank you so much.
There you go. Stick around. We've got plenty more coming from CPAC 2022 right here from Orlando, Florida.